Bitcoin is basically back to those record highs from a couple of years ago. Joining us now is Anthony Pompliano, a founder of Pomp Investments. And it's kind of a fool's errand to ever try to figure out where Bitcoin is headed. But just in terms of things that are on the horizon, we got the halving coming up. We've had the ETF that was recently, spot ETFs are now becoming more mainstream. And how long has it been? Has it been 2 months? It started maybe a little bit slow, but then it's been like kind of a rocket ship.
If you look over the last 60 days and in the next 60 days, I think there's two big stories. The ETF approvals obviously were a huge deal. BlackRock alone has $11 billion in their ETF. They added $1 billion just in the last day. And so these are massive inflows for just one fund. There's 11 of them. And so obviously there's tons of money coming in, about 12 times more demand for Bitcoin than what the network is producing every single day. But also, as we near this record high, if we go back and we look at past record high breaks, or if we eclipse the old all-time high, 3 of the 4 times Bitcoin doubled in 18 days or less. And so if you think about that for a second, once you break through an all-time high, it's price discovery. What is this thing worth? The world is going to try to figure that out. And 3 of the last 4 times in 18 days or less, it doubled in price. You add in the fact that we have the halving coming, and we're going to go from 900 Bitcoin a day coming into the supply to 450. And it's very hard to make an argument that Bitcoin is not going much higher and at a faster pace than we all expected.
I mean, when you do the math, I feel like I need to say that past results are not indicative necessarily of the future, because it just sounds so, I mean, it just sounds that anyone at home would, you know, if they're totally new at this game, they might mortgage their house and put it all in Bitcoin. And there is still risk in the asset, is there not?
I definitely don't think that they should do that, right? If you go and you ask most people in the Bitcoin world, they will tell you higher percentages than you would expect in terms of what they've put in. But I think 1 to 5% for a traditional portfolio ends up making sense.
But you just made a case for going from 70 to 140 in 18 days. I mean, that sounds like things that you hear on TV where you just want to really stay away from.
Bitcoin's up 20% in the last week. It's up 60% in the last month. And it's up 200% in the last year. I'm not saying it's going to 140,000. What I'm saying is 3 of the last 4 times, it doubled in 18 days. And with a halving upon us, it's just hard to not say this is likely to go much, much higher. And so what I think also we start to pay attention to here is, look, there's 3 main new buyers that are now going to come into the market. The first is public pension funds, right? We had a fund that was anchored by 2 public pension funds in Fairfax County. Catherine Molnar and Andy Speller were the CIOs there, and they're up 12x on their exposure to Bitcoin in that fund. And so when you see that, you say to yourself, wait a second, there's only 4 funds last year in all of state public pension funds that were fully funded. If they all went and put 1% in Bitcoin, there's a very strong possibility that a number of those funds would get back to fully funded status over the next 10, 15, 20 years. On top of that, you got sovereign wealth funds. They've been very quiet right now. There's now ETF opportunities for them. They don't have to go buy Bitcoin and potentially take the risk of the geopolitical backlash. They can simply go get the exposure without actually holding the Bitcoin. If a sovereign wealth fund comes out, especially a major one, and says, we've bought Bitcoin and it is a material percentage now of our portfolio, I think that there will be a global race between countries.
Do you think gold is up in sympathy with Bitcoin? I mean, why is, or is there inflation? The 34 trillion, inflation is coming down. Is it 34 trillion? Is it the number? Is it the amount of debt and how quickly it's growing that has Bitcoin and gold both strong in recent sessions or in recent months?
If you go and you look, one of the critiques of Bitcoin was it was a zero interest rate phenomenon, right? Oh, if rates are down, Bitcoin's up. Yeah. If rates go up, Bitcoin comes down.
They haven't come down.
Well, rates are up and Bitcoin is back to an all-time high. Stocks are up, etc. So what Bitcoin has become is a index for global liquidity. And although the Fed, the ECB, and Japan are actually contracting their balance sheets, China has been basically giving the middle finger to the rest of the global economy. Okay. And they're saying, hey, we're going to ease here. We're going to go and put liquidity into the market. And so Bitcoin is a big, big winner. If you believe that the dollar is going to continue to be debased over the coming decade, Bitcoin's going to be a winner. And if you think global liquidity is going to go up, Bitcoin's going to be a winner there too.
And what's gold's market cap? Is it? That's
10 trillion or so.
10 to 12 trillion. Yeah. Some people are looking for Bitcoin to be 10%, 50% of the market cap. You think it could be a multiple of the market cap of gold?
Hey, crypto architects. Today we have Anthony Pompliano, a leading figure in the world of cryptocurrency and founder of Pomp Investments. With his insights, we're diving into the recent milestone of Bitcoin hitting an all-time high of $70,000 on March 8th. But what does this mean for the future of Bitcoin? Well, buckle up because the journey ahead is bound to be an exciting one. As we've heard, Bitcoin's surge isn't just a fluke. It's backed by solid fundamentals, including upcoming events like the halving and the growing acceptance of ETFs. But here's where it gets interesting. Picture this. Bitcoin's price doubled in just 18 days after breaking through previous all-time highs. It's like a roller coaster ride of excitement and opportunity. And speaking of opportunities, institutions are jumping on board the Bitcoin train. Public pension funds and sovereign wealth funds are recognizing Bitcoin's potential as a hedge against economic uncertainty. It's a game changer that could reshape the global financial landscape. But let's not forget about the macroeconomic factors at play. With concerns over inflation and global liquidity, Bitcoin is emerging as a safe haven asset. It's not just digital gold anymore, it's the future of finance. So, what's next? Well, the sky's the limit. Some experts believe Bitcoin could eventually surpass gold in market cap, making each coin potentially worth over $1 million. It sounds unbelievable, but in the world of cryptocurrency, anything is possible. But remember, with great potential comes great risk. While the upside of Bitcoin is enticing, it's important to approach it with caution. Diversification is key, and allocating a small percentage of your portfolio to Bitcoin could prove to be a prudent move. In conclusion, whether you're a seasoned investor or just curious about the world of cryptocurrency, now is the time to pay attention. The future of finance is being rewritten before our eyes, and Bitcoin is leading the charge. So, grab your popcorn and let's continue with Antony interview.
Today, Bitcoin at 1.35 trillion. It's bigger than the US high yield bond market. It's bigger than the silver market.
But it's a tenth of gold.
That's
and
fine.
You think it could go to half of gold?
It used to be 1% of gold. Now it's 10%. Eventually it's going to be 100%. And eventually it's going to go past gold.
So that would be over $1 million a coin.
Because Bitcoin is a 10x improvement on gold. And if you're a 10x improvement, to be 2 times the market cap would make sense.
Okay. So you're bullish.
Very bullish on
Kidding. I know. I'm gathering that. And no matter, you know my feelings on this, and I have not been quiet. I'm still going to get grief for questioning you at all from the hodlers. And that's the other thing. No one's selling.
We could be wrong.
But if the network isn't producing any and no one's selling, then where the hell are these ETFs going to get the Bitcoin?
Yes.
So that's all.
We could be wrong, but the probability is that it's going higher.
Thank you for joining us today on this insightful journey into the world of crypto and investing. If you found value in today's discussion and want to stay updated on future crypto news and market insights, don't forget to hit subscribe button below and click the notification bell. By subscribing, you'll be part of our growing community, gaining exclusive access to timely analyses and strategies. I look forward to having you with us in the next video.